Welcome to Red Lipstick Vibes, where the vibes are always positive. Now, child, listen, there's a little disclaimer, okay? All views and opinions are not the views of the host. This is a space for all to share their views respectfully and on topic, baby. If you are triggered or bothered by someone's opinions or thoughts, address them directly. Do not come for me, child. There is no censorship here unless you are targeting someone personally with the intent of being messy and rude. Let me be clear. We are here to understand all thoughts, views, and address the topics or questions that are being asked. I want to keep the conversation going to gain understanding from all men and women, respectfully. Now, let's start the show, baby.
Here's what's coming up on Red Lipstick Vibes.
I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable. I'm unstoppable, yeah, unstoppable.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me? Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Yes. We're in the middle of the week and the week is almost over. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you get a one in the chat? A chat in the one? If y'all can hear me. So, this is day 3 of the Autism Aware Virtual Symposium. It's been an interesting week. And so this evening, we're going to talk about now what? Navigating life after the diagnosis. Going to pull up some information for you all. I think, did I put that in there? I surely didn't. Did I? Let me see. No, I didn't. So tonight is going to be, we're going to give out some information, talk a little bit, and yeah. And then we get out of here because, it's some fooleries and things going on. So I'm quite sure some people want to go and hang out in the chats. Oh, shout out to Take Heed for being in the building. Thank you so much for stopping by, sis. Have y'all met my my little sister? Have y'all met my little sister? Take Heed. Have you met my little sister? Take Heed. Have you met my little sister yet? Mm-hmm. I have a little sister now. Yes. Well, I had a little sister, but I brought her back to life. Okay. Have you met my little sister? No, you haven't met my little sister. Oh, okay. So here's my little sister. Her name is Melissa, which is actually my real sister's name. Her name before she passed, her name. My mom named her Melissa. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of put some pictures together of my mom, my dad, myself, and so they created a face of what Melissa may have looked like, right? So I was like, what? I need to create my little Melissa, and she has a message for y'all. So here it goes, Melissa. Melissa has a message for everybody. Okay. Let me get. Ooh, I didn't want y'all to see that. Oh, okay. So here's Melissa.
Don't forget to hit the Cash App and support the show. $Red Lipstick Vibes.
Shout out to Melissa. See, y'all, look, Melissa said, don't forget to support the show, okay? And let me let Melissa say it one more time. It's my little sister, Melissa.
Don't forget to hit the Cash App and support the show. $Red Lipstick Vibes.
Okay, shout out to Melissa. And of course, we gotta hear Umar.
A lot of people hit me up for interviews. Y'all gonna have to come out the fucking pockets, cause I'm not doing shit for free. 3,500 to 10K is my range. Y'all pay Dr. Umar thousands of dollars to get the fuck on there and talk. Y'all gonna pay me the same shit. Fuck.
We in the building. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the Cash App,
Look, when she said the fuck, I falls out every time she say that, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh, shout out to brother in the house. Oh my goodness. I fall out every time. Okay. Every time she says that. The link is pinned to the top, and if you want to drop the link, exclamation point link, we'll drop the link. If you want to come up, ask a question, or have something to say about what we're talking about. So yeah. Well, let's get into it. Okay. No need to be hanging around and ringing around. No need to do all that. If I can find what I need, that would be perfect. So today, of course, the title of today's show is Now What? Navigating Life After the Diagnosis, right? Okay. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So let's get started. All right, guys. So throughout the week, we already talked about what is the autism diagnosis and all that. So what does a diagnosis with autism mean? Understanding the meaning and what comes next. What we will cover the very basics of what autism is and its characteristics, understanding the challenge and strength your child has. Remember that your child is an individual and build on your child's strengths and abilities. All right. So we understand, we already went through this, and if you need some more need some additional information, please make sure that you go and visit the stream that we did on Monday. We went into detail, and we broke down on the autism spectrum in detail. So the autism spectrum affects social skills, emotional, and communication within a autistic person. So we know this. Again, we won't have to go through it, but check out the previous lives on Monday, and because we went into detail about that. Okay. All right. And we also discuss the levels of autism. You have level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is high functioning. Level 2 is in the middle, where the child or a adult needs little support. They can do things on their own, but needs to have an observer. And then there's level 3, where there's severe autism, where they cannot be on their own. They have to have someone with them at all times. Okay. So you have 3 levels of the autism spectrum. And again, all these things are in the live that we did on Monday. Okay. So if you need more information, we discussed everything that's on here. The characteristics of autism. We talked about the different levels as well. So this is just a graph of what we talked about on the 14th. So please go back and watch that live, so you have a more complete view of what autism is. Okay, we're just going through these really quickly so that we can get to the meat of the conversation. All right. The goals of functional and increased independence. These are some of so this is what happens when you find out the diagnosis, right? So your goal, where is your child and where you hope they should be? These are the 2 questions that you should ask yourself. Where is your child? Understand where your child is, if they're on level 1, 2, or 3. Understanding their triggers, understanding their sensory needs, where your child is, and where you hope they should be. Okay? So if your goals, your goals, functional and increase independence, goals are to teaching communication skills, to gain and maintain social attention, teaching independence, living life skills. These should be some of the goals that you have for your child. And in order for you to get to these goals, you have to understand where your child is and what he or she needs to be able to obtain those goals. All right. Understanding meanings and what comes next. The first step, the first goal is to educate yourself about autism and get knowledge where your child fits in the spectrum. Again, learning where they are, meaning if they are level 1, 2, or 3. And this will help you guide. This will give you a guide to what services and therapy and what other services that they will need. So this is the first step that you need to do, where you need to start as a parent or caregiver. All right. So here is what the information I want to relay to you. So this is what happens next. What happens is you must get early intervention. Early diagnosis plus effective intervention is your child's best chance at individuals achieving their potential. Don't wait. Do not wait. Do not procrastinate, because the soon as you get the therapies and information that you need to help your child, the better their life will be. Okay? So early diagnosis plus effective intervention, and early intervention really is your child's best choice, your child's best chances to live in a productive life. Okay? It's very, very important, guys. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. My OG dad is calling me. Hold on one second. Okay, I had to let them know I was doing productions. I'm like, I'm doing productions. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, shout out to Take Heed for the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for the lemon character with the sunglasses. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. Thank you. Okay, let's get back to it. So again, early intervention is key. Early intervention is important. So the sooner you get the diagnosis, starting intervention is key. Okay, very, very important. I can't stress that enough. Very, very important. Okay. All right. Early intervention services between the ages of 0 to 3 years old. Early childhood education program services between 3 to 5 years old. Okay. National Research Council says in 2001 suggests early intervention can improve your child's outcomes. And that is a fact. So when you are, this is where we said this all week. I don't know why it keeps coming up, but you have to be a hands-on parent. You cannot be a lackadaisical parent. You can't not, pay attention to your child. You can't just put a device in their hands and stuff. You have to pay attention to your baby, because you may be seeing signs of autism and miss the opportunity to have them evaluated and diagnosed so that you can get the early intervention, right? I have a few stories that's coming up the rest of later on this week, where the parent her son was diagnosed when he was like 7 years old, and so he missed a crucial time where he will be able to get some services that could have really impacted his life. So early diagnosis and early intervention is key, and that requires a conscious parent. Shout out to Promote Conscious Parenting. Somebody put exclamation point PCP in the chat. Okay. Please subscribe to Promote Conscious Parenting. You have to be a conscious parent so that you can be able to tell when there is something wrong with your baby, so that you can get the early diagnosis and early intervention. Okay. It's very, very important. All right. Here are some interventions and services. Okay. So these are the most popular ones, and the four that usually are offered to children, or I would say people with autism. So the first one is occupational therapy, speech and language, physical therapist, and ABA, applied behavioral analyst, which is quote unquote ABA. So occupational therapist is human growth development, interaction with environment, sensory integration, and daily activities. Speech and language, that's self-explanatory. Physical therapy is develop the muscles, muscle tone, balance, coordination, and posture. ABA therapy increase social skills, verbal behaviors, enhance hygiene and self-care, and cooperative behaviors. So these four interventions or services are very, very important towards the betterment of your child. Once you get the diagnosis, these are the four services that you really, really need to get your child involved in sooner than later. Very, very important. So I have a clip of explaining what the OT therapy is, which will be 9 times out of 10, depending on the level of your child and also when they get evaluated. OT therapy is one of the number one therapies that are pretty much suggested for a child with autism or a related disorder. Okay, so I have a video and we're going to show it.
An occupational therapist, or OT for short, is an adult who helps you with activities that might be hard for you to do. These activities could be things that happen at home, like having a bath or shower, washing your hair, eating dinner, helping out with chores, playing with your siblings, and going to sleep. OTs can also help you with activities that happen at school, like if you find it hard to follow instructions, listening to the teacher, sit still, do handwriting, focus in class, or playing Tiggy with your friends. OTs can also help you if you find it hard to go to the shops with your family, or play in the park, join any sports or community groups. Although OTs can help you with all these skills, it's different to school. In the OT sessions, the OT will play games with you to help you practice these skills. Sometimes you might be having so much fun that you forget that you are learning. Everyone has things that they are good at and things that they have more trouble doing. And OT is there to help you get better at the things that might be hard for you. They teach you skills so you can get better at doing those things and start doing more of these things by yourself.
Okay, so that is the explanation with OT therapy. So OT therapy is very, very important because like we just said, that it literally teaches your child life skills, how to interact socially. So if anything, if any service that you get for your child, OT, I would recommend would be the number one. OT and speech therapy. Okay. All right, let's continue. Interventions and services continue. According to the National Autism Center, these 4 points need to be considered when looking for interventions. 1, evidence of intervention effectiveness. 2, professional judgment and data-based clinical decision making. 3, value and preference of family. 4, capacity to accurately implement an intervention. So these are the 4 points that you need to look into and see which one fits your child. Ask yourself if the intervention is research supported, produce beneficial outcomes for the individual, and it is known to be effective. Don't sometimes there will be things out there, you will find things on Google, the tiki-taki world or whatever, people saying I did this and I did that, but you can't just take one person's word for it. Make sure you do your research before you implement anything with your child. Okay. Here is one more thing you need to consider: your family needs. Okay. When deciding on the best path to choose when given a diagnosis with autism, these things need to be considered: the cost, time, and impact on the family. Let me say that again. These are the 3 things that you need to consider: cost, especially if you have public assistance and not private insurance. Because a lot of times, with public assistance, they give you a hard time. Because a lot of times I had to fight for a lot of parents that are on public assistance to get certain therapies without all these red tapes. So I would have to, because sometimes a lot of the parents don't know what to say or who to call, so I would have to make those calls for them. So, and just know that sometimes insurance companies doesn't cover things, so there may be times when you have to pay out of pocket. Okay. And we'll get into this part as well. I always recommend whatever the therapist is doing at the therapy session, I highly recommend that you do the same at home. So you have to look into the cost, especially if they're using it. Sometimes therapists have like loaner apparatuses or loaner of things that they can loan you to do at home, and after the child's therapy is over you can give it back. But just know that sometimes you may have to pay for some things out of pocket, and you have to make sure the time management is important, and the impact on your family. We talked about that earlier today on sharing the diagnosis, especially when you're sharing the diagnosis with siblings and extended family. You have to consider all these points, okay? All right. Here is another intervention, and me and Mrs. She said kind of spoke on this the other day. Respite care. Okay. What is respite care? Respite care is a short-term care for a child or an adult that allows the primary caregiver relief. It can be arranged for just an afternoon or for several days or weeks. Care can be provided at home, in healthcare facility, or at an adult day center. Finding respite care. Learn about the types of options in your community or in your area. Respite services can be available to families through provider agencies with or through a more informal network of support. Also, family and friends can be an option as well. Funding for respite care. If you are unable to afford respite care, there are some funding options you can look into, including your state developmental disability agencies. And care.com is a very helpful Article 6 tips for finding funding for respite care costs. Okay. And a lot of this information I will be putting in, in the comment section. Shout out to brother He Said, and Spoken Talk is in the building. So we talked a little bit about respite care when we did the video on self-care, and a lot of people don't utilize it because they're still going through the stages of grief. But once you come to acceptance and resolve, please, parents, I know from experience, do not turn your back on respite care or incorporating a family or friends in your life, this journey with autism, to help you, because you don't want to get burnt out. Okay. I know that all too well. You don't want to get burnt out. So respite care is another intervention, really, because believe it or not, what you're feeling, your children feel as well. So if you're stressed out, 9 times out of 10, your child is going to feel it, and it's going to be stressed out too. So taking care of yourself is also taking care of them. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right. 10 items you should discuss with a potential respite worker. So here are some things you need to discuss with them. You need to find out some information. Okay. Just don't go and, if somebody recommends someone or whatever, you need to do your investigations, parents. Okay. So 10 items you should discuss with a potential respite worker. Previous work experience, of course. Background checks. What does the person know about autism? Are they willing and able to attend training sessions if they don't know much? Safety issues, behavioral concerns. How will the respite worker support the person in a group setting? Do they have concerns about taking this job? And when is the respite worker available? And ask for 3 work references. I say ask for 5, child. I say ask for 5. I need to know. Because, people can fabricate some references. I need to know. I need to talk to your mama, too. Okay. Let's see. All right. Parent groups. There are many, many groups out there that, will help the parent in this early stage, right? So this is basically going to be your life after the diagnosis, right? So in order to help you navigate through all this, it is very, very crucial that you create your own tribe, create an environment or community, or sign up for one that you feel comfortable in, that will be able to be there when you need support, when you need someone to talk to, when you need resources, and you can be able to create your own as well, right? So parent groups or advocacy groups such as mine, networks designed for autism, online social forums. There are like 1,000 of them on Facebook. All you gotta do is put in autism groups, and all of them will show up. Groups in your community, and of course, like I just said, Facebook, and I've seen a couple of them on Twitter as well. So if you're not a person that likes to be, all in the mix, and people in person, there are some great online forums as well. So these are some of the things you need to consider for your life after the autism diagnosis. All right, let's talk about insurance coverage. The first question you need to ask is, which type of health benefit plan do you have? And that's one of the ones, you're going to have to make sure that the benefits that you have will be able to cover some of the services that you will need for your autistic person. Okay. Um, a lot of insurances have a lot of red tape when it comes to approving different therapies. So you really need to take some time to look into the right insurance company, especially and with the public assistance one too. Um, and for the life of me, I don't know why they try to make it so hard to just get approved for simple speech therapy sometimes. Like you got to go through a lot of red tape. And it depends on the state you're in too, right? If you don't already know what type of health benefits plan you have, please refer to our health benefit guide. And I will put the link in the comments as well so that you can do some research to make sure that you have the right insurance for that will be able to cover a lot of the interventions and services that we talked about today. Once you have confirmed your plan type, find more information on your plan. Your type of plan determines which health benefits must be covered. Some plan types are fully assured, and then some are not. Okay, must provide benefits directed by the state law, while other plans does not. So you have to make sure that you are fully insured plan, right? All 50 states have taken government action to require coverage for ABA therapy. So if you go to your insurance company and they tell you that they don't cover ABA therapy, I will post the statute in the law for your state, because all 50 states are now requiring insurance companies to cover ABA therapy. Okay. Fully insured plans must comply with these laws, but self-funded plans do not. Okay? That means you have to have a full insured plan. Self-funded plans are regulated by federal law, not by the state. Okay? That's very important to know. Your type of plan impacts how you advocate for a change in benefits. Okay, I will put the link to the health benefit guide in the comment section. Okay, so please make sure you know what type of insurance you have. All right, let's talk about community resources, funding, and insurance. Private resources and government funded resources. Here are a few. Child Find is one. Under the federal law, public schools must look for and find evaluated kids who needs special needs. It covers kids from birth to age 21. It applies to all kids, including those who are homeschooled or in private school, plus kids who are migrants or homeless. Okay? Government early intervention programs intended for infants and toddlers who have a developmental delay or disability. Programs are available in every state. These publicly funded programs provide services for free or at a reduced cost for any child who is eligible. Advocacy groups. Advocacy groups assist you when individuals' legal rights are not being met, help you connect with resources that are in your area, lobby for your child's rights. And some groups in your area, example is like Easter Seal, the ARC, the Autism Society, and of course my group, the ACCP, SAFE, and many more. And I will definitely put those links in the comment section as well. All right, let's break down therapy services, okay? You have in-home based therapy sessions. The main component is family. Then you have your therapist and then a practitioner. Now, for in-home based therapies, for me, I think this is best for when you first starting out, especially if they're very young, because it gives a sense of comfortability for the child. They're not so shell shocked or uh, getting a sensory overload when you kind of take them out of their safe zone. So starting a home-based therapy probably would be ideal, especially if they're very small, and especially when they're like babies and stuff. So you really, you don't want to shock, send them through shock. Putting them in a situation in places where they feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So then you have the center-based therapy sessions. Now, center-based is at a therapy center or hospital, and then you have school-based therapy where they receive all of their therapies at the school or center. And of course, the number one component is the family members, your therapist and your practitioner. So with the center-based, can be very helpful, especially when you're doing OT or ABA therapy in a group setting. This will kind of teach your kids social skills and learning how to play well with others, being able to communicate more and just interacting. So this will definitely help once they get to this level where you feel comfortable introducing them to a center or school-based therapy. So the pivotal response training, the PRT, let's talk about that. PRT is a behavioral treatment for autism. This therapy is play-based and initiated by the child. So basically, this therapy is more or less letting the child take the lead on how they want to learn. And so the goals with the PRT is communication and language skills, positive social behaviors, disruptive self-stimulatory behaviors. And so the areas are motivation, response to multiple cues, self-management, initiation of social interactions. And so who provides this type of training? Who provides this type of treatment? A psychologist, a special ed teacher, and speech therapist. All three should be involved in this type of therapy. If they come to you and only come with one or two. No, it's supposed to be all three. All three. And family members are encouraged to participate in this as well. And I preach this to the mountains all the time. Whatever therapies or treatment or interventions your child is involved in outside the home, you need to do the same thing in home. This is the only way it's going to work. You have to reinforce it. So family members need to learn it too. So if you're not doing in-home and you're doing center-based, I suggest all the time, have dad come, have the siblings come to see exactly what's going on. So what is being done at the center, what is being done at the school should be done at home. Reinforcement is key. I can't say that enough. And here is another program, Teach. Okay. Teach is treatment and education of autistic and communication handicapped children. Okay. This is a very popular one that's really taken off. Teach focuses on the structural form of visual learning. The programs are early intervention, school age, and adult with autism. The key principles are physical structure, schedules, work system, routines, and visual-based cues. So a lot of times with Teach, Teach tends to be better for level twos and level ones, high functioning and middle. I call it middle function. That's just my term. Okay, high functioning, middle function. Because with Teach, they're teaching you with schedules. You're more routine based. You're using visual schedules, because like my son, he has a visual schedule with his times, and it has the little pictures of what he's supposed to be doing and that kind of thing. And so they thrive on routine and schedules and a work system. So Teach is a very good program for high functioning, and I call it quote unquote middle functioning, which is level 2. With level 3, which is a severe autism, it's kind of difficult to teach them with this, but you can start them on it and as soon as they are in OT and ABA, because when they have OT and ABA, being integrated into Teach can be very, very helpful. Okay. Studies have shown improvement in developmental abilities and symptoms of autism. And the Teach method usually takes place in the classroom, but it can also be provided in a home setting. Again, like I always say, whatever is being done at the therapy sessions, whether it's at a center or in the classroom, please, parents, please, caregivers, make sure you're doing it at home as well. Research has found that the Teach method can decrease stress levels of both the caretaker and the child. Why? Because with the schedule and work system in the routine, you are able to teach your child to do things on their own. And this is where OT and ABA therapy comes in as well. Okay. All right. Floor time. The DIR model. The D stands for developmental. The I stands for individual differences. The R stands for relationship based. All right. Floor time goals. Parents are encouraged to participate. Let us say that again. Parents are encouraged to participate. In my Dr. Umar voice, parents are encouraged to participate. Okay. Focus on developmental milestones. And number 3, intellectual growth and emotional growth. The key milestones for DIR floor time is self-integration and entrance in the world, intimacy or engagement with in relationships, two-way communication, complex communication, emotional ideas, and emotional thinking. So, who provides this? Special ed teachers, speech therapists, occupational therapists, child psychologists, parents, caregivers can also learn to implement this. Again, it always comes up. Whatever you are doing at home, you need what you're doing at the centers or the schools or the hospital, you need to be doing it at home as well. Reinforcement is key. Okay? Social thinking. Social thinking is another intervention that is gaining some popularity, especially with the uh, older teenagers and adults. Okay, social thinking is a set of behaviors that is taught, language and cognitive base that focuses on social interpretations and communication skills. Social thinking promotes visual support, modeling, naturalistic teachings, self management, and social thinking vocabulary. Social skills development, um, direct direct instructions and teachable moments, focusing on timing and attention. It supports for enhancing communication and sensory integration, learning behaviors that predicts important social outcomes, and build up cognitive and language skills. So, as you can see, what they are focusing on tends to be for the more mature autistic person. Um, and it depends on what level of autism you're in as well. So, who provides the social thinking services? The providers are social workers, psychologists, occupational therapists, and speech therapists. And here is another one that is gaining momentum in the autism community. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. What is CBT? Treatment for anxiety, depression, and ADHD. It teaches children to alter their beliefs or behaviors to avoid negative emotions. Steps to CBT is identifying trouble behaviors, making them aware of thoughts and teach them how to cope, reshape negative thoughts. The techniques use cognitive restructuring, guided discovery, exposure to therapy, relaxation techniques, journaling, behavioral experiments, activity scheduling, and role play, and a few more. Benefits for the persons with autism for this type of therapy: it reduces anxiety, help patients handle stressful situations, helps individual change maladaptive beliefs, and improve their relationships with others, so improving their social skills. And who provides this type of therapy? CBT needs to be done with a registered technician or experienced psychiatrist. So, as you can see, when you look at some of the techniques that use, this type of therapy, it tends to be geared to more or less the level 1, which is a high functioning. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the elephants in the room. Medications. You know, I'm fond of medications, so I'm going to keep my opinions to a minimum. Medications can threaten core symptoms of autism, but they should be used with behavior therapies. Symptoms of behavior therapies or behavior issues like disruptive behavior, aggression, or rituals, right? Medications may not work for everyone and can cause severe side effects. Consult with a doctor before trying any medications. Let me say that again. Consult with the doctor before trying any medications when you see, even if it's like supplements. What I do suggest, not only consult with the doctor, make sure it's just not one doctor. I will get several opinions about a medication, and I will also do my own independent research before I say yes. Okay? It is your job. Okay? Make sure you do your own research before you say yes to any type of medication. Alternatives. Diet and vitamins are biological treatments, okay? Especially if you have food intolerance, your child has allergies, they have sleeping issues, impaired immune system, and nutritional defects, especially from their diets. A lot of kids have issues with sensory overload with taste and textures. So your child will have a lot of nutritional deficits. Supplements are given to treat specific behaviors like sleep or hyperactivity, repetitive disorders. Melatonin is often given to treat insomnia. I do not recommend, okay? This is not me saying this. This is what the professional said, okay? I'm not telling y'all to give your child melatonin, knock them out. I am not telling you to give them NyQuil and all that other stuff. Y'all know what y'all be doing, knocking your kids out, making them go to sleep. But I digress, okay? Y'all know what y'all be doing. Lord have mercy. But again, even with the alternatives, make sure you do your research, okay? I know a lot of times we see on social media and all, there are a lot of suggestions for detoxes, suggestions for vitamins or gummies and this, and people tell you, oh yes, when I started giving my child these drops, and all of a sudden he started talking and all that kind of stuff. Just know that these people are being paid to do that. So if something piques your interest, make sure you do your research. That's all I can tell you guys. Make sure you do your own research. All right. Important questions to ask when you are asking these questions, right? Or ask these questions to the doctor, whomever is trying to suggest some things for you, for your child. What research is there that supports this intervention? What training do you or your staff have? How do you know it works? I need to see some testimonials or something. What is your best claim based off? What process do you use to come to your conclusion? How will this intervention be individualized for my child? Because not every child is the same. How will we work as a team? If you get with a therapist or a doctor that's not willing to work with you and the family as a team, you need to find a new doctor. You need to find a new therapist. Because if they can't do that, they clearly don't have your child's best interest in heart, okay? These are the key questions to find out if the treatment is best for your child. Here are a few tips for 10 tips for families with the new autism diagnosis. 1, take a few days at least before making any important decisions. Because once you get the diagnosis, like we talked about on Monday and on Tuesday, you're going to be going through these stages. So please take some time to process it all. Try to plan some alone time with your partner, if you have one, for a week or two after the diagnosis, because it's going to be a lot on both of you guys. Decide who you're going to tell. We talked about sharing the diagnosis today, right? Don't focus too much on the future. We tend to be like, oh my God, he's not going to graduate from college, and the child is 1 year old. Okay. So try not to focus on the future. Remember that your child is a child and not a project. Okay. Your child is not autism. Okay. She is still your baby. It's still your child. Get a few binders and a three-ring hole puncher and decide on a single accessible place to keep them. Keep everything. I jot down every phone call. I still have notes and things from like when Caleb was like 1. I did not throw away anything. Okay. I still have those records. I still have text messages and conversations and notes. And it will come in handy. You never know when you're going to be asked a question. You're going to have to remember. Keep a record of every interaction you have with the schools. Yes. Therapists and doctors. And in some cases, family members. And in some cases, babysitters. And in some cases, respite care providers. Get familiar with the laws that affect individuals with disability, especially those dealing with a special education. So if your child is in school, make sure you get familiar with the laws in your state and in your city. Find local supports and advocacy groups, whether it be in person or online. And meet with a financial planner, preferably one with knowledge of disability planning. Because if you watched the live on Monday, it was estimated over a lifetime that the cost of caring for a person with autism, the span of their life, is close to $6 million. Okay. So you must be prepared. Okay. So those are the 10 things that you should keep in mind after you get the diagnosis. So this is the 10 tips for the now what. Okay. So guys, this was not a long live. Yeah. I just want to drop off those information and shout out to everyone that was peeking in and out. I know it's a lot going on in YouTube streets, and this is not a popular, thing to talk about, but it is Autism Awareness Month. Okay. If you like materials, if you have any questions, you can visit accsafe.com, or you can email me at support@accsafe.com, and you can DM me if you are connected to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the places. Okay. So that is it, guys. That's all I have for tonight. I was going to do some foolery after this, but I know that my brother and sis are anniversarying. Did I just make that up? I did. They anniversarying right now. So I know they probably just doing their thing. So maybe we'll get into some debauchery on another day. So for tomorrow, here's what's up for tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a presentation on the autism spectrum disorder, facts for parents. I believe that's I believe this one is in the morning. I believe at 8 a.m. I believe. And tomorrow evening there will be a presentation from a 40 years special ed teacher, Miss MJ Algiers, and she was my son's preschool teacher. If you can see the thumbnail, that little bean at the end with the white shirt was my little baby. That was my little bean. Oh my God, how much he has grown. If y'all can see him now, Lord have mercy. I mean, Lord, if y'all can see Mr. Caleb now, yeah, he's not that little bean in the corner right there at all. So she was Miss Algiers was his preschool teacher, and I was blessed to get an interview with her. I think Miss MJ she gotta be in in the middle 80s, I believe. I think so. I think she's like 80 something now. And so I was able to get her to interview with her. And she was very instrumental to helping me get Mr. Caleb to where he is today. And like I said, that's Mr. Caleb in the white. They were doing circle time. And you know what's so crazy? I still shout out to GP. Hey GP. You know what's so crazy? I still remember the circle time song. My son will be 22 this year, and I still remember the circle. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I still remember it. I still remember the circle time song. So that lets you know that I spent a whole lot of time in the classroom. Okay. I really did. I'm hands-on mom, and that's where you're supposed to be. So please tune in for that. It was very insightful. She gives an insight on what it was like before autism became a thing. Okay. She talks about the educational system before we had all of these services and therapies and things like that. So look, it's going to be a very, very insightful interview. And like I said, she was a special ed teacher for 40 years under her belt. So that's going to be a real one. And you'll hear some little stories about Mr. Caleb. So it's going to be interesting. So please tune in for that tomorrow. And then we're back live on Friday. Friday is Dad's Day, and we will have a special guest. Shout out to the Untouchables. Our very own Thomas Legacy will be in the motherfucking building. Untouchable Empire, baby, will be in the building. It will be an exclusive interview with him. He has an autistic daughter. So I'm not sure if his wife is going to join us, but this on Friday is Dad's Day. So we will be talking with him. And also there will be a replay with the interview that I did with the two dads last year, which was very, very insightful. Oh my God, we had a really, really good time. So guys, we got a full plate for the next 2 days. And I hope that you learned something tonight. Again, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you need to get some more information on, just let me know. Just shoot me a message. And I would definitely send that. Shout out to Kimmy. Kimmy is in the house. Hey, Kimmy. Again, this was a real short one, but I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm grateful that, some people took the time just to come out and hit the like button and watch for a few minutes. Thank you. If any information that you need, I am there for you. So now, let me get a special thanks to Take Heed to the Message for her super sticker. Thank you, sis. For the $5 super sticker. Thank you for your support on tonight. So that's it for tonight, guys. I will see you guys on tomorrow. And if you need any more information, you know where to find me. Y'all know what I'm about to do. Peace out.
As soon as the show over, he do like this. Well, I'm ready to go.
Cause all the hate that you bring, we know
it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing. Why? Cause they know I go again. And when they in a drought, I'm the one that can make it flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again. Running into us, we'll gladly send you home again. Yo, we don't talk, better know the grind gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope. Cause all I do is win. And I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I